Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms, where we go over Black Mirror, which we've completed, so go check that out. We go over Love, Death, and Robots, which is coming out on Thursdays. And we're going over today the Twilight Zone.
1960s version.
Yeah, the original Twilight
the original
Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Like 1959, 1960, 61-ish. It ran through 63 or something. So it's fun stuff. We're on the 20th episode of the first season, entitled Elegy.
Yes.
That's very similar to Eulogy, but not Eulogy.
Research.
Yeah, because we had to figure that out because
Yes.
it was confusing.
At first, when we saw the episode title, we're like, what is that? And then it made sense.
An elegy is a mournful poem or song written about someone who has recently died. A eulogy is a speech or written tribute praising someone who has recently died. So that's the difference, and this
Now
is
you guys
elegy.
know. The next time you go to a funeral.
Which, of course, would have answered some of the questions had we known what elegy actually meant before going into the episode.
Yes.
But not knowing, we were really confused most of the episode because it actually was going on, which was nice for once. Actually, not being predictable.
Yeah, this was not a predictable episode. So that was good. Good news, everybody. Good news.
So, yeah. Top level here. 3 astronauts land on a asteroid, even though the very beginning of the thing was very confusing.
I don't know, like, I forgot the entire thing about them landing on an asteroid, like...
Well, he said they're lost in space, but they're trying to get home. And the first thing the guy does is like, we're landing here, and we think we're home. Or something. I don't know.
They were landing, and then they're like,
they were shocked.
There's air.
Exactly. They were shocked. They were landing because they had no choice, and they were shocked that there was air. But they were just told they were trying to find their way home. I don't really know what was happening. But there was air, and they land, and stuff is frozen. Everybody is frozen in place. They don't know what's going on.
Yes. The first thing they run into is a puppy just forever sniffing I don't even know what it was. Was it a mailbox? A well? Was it a well?
It's like the well thing, yeah. That's what it looked like, I think. But, yeah. And then they explore town.
Yes.
But I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, overall, I mean, like, the acting, we had some committed people in this episode. These people, besides some of them, they didn't use mannequins, so all these frozen people were literally actors and actresses standing in place as best as they could.
Yes, as still as they possibly could. And some definitely did better than others.
Yes.
Some people were like, "Oh, nope, that's not working out very well for you."
No, and they did break some of the rules. One, if you're trying to be a very still person, don't hold liquids.
Yeah, which we had a couple do that, and
Yes.
I was like, "Oh, that's sloshing."
Yeah.
Definitely not still.
And 2, do not wear anything that shines like a glittery top. Because as soon as your body even shakes just a little, the light goes, whoo.
So, yeah. I think, there was a lady standing up on stage, I think, with the worst offensive moving.
Oh, yes.
Because he went up there, and it's like, oh, everyone's moving. Okay, y'all aren't even trying.
You're like...
No.
And then one chick looked terrified. Like, she looked so worried about moving that it made it worse for her. Because the actor was focusing on one chick, but you could see behind him this one blonde chick, and she was just like... But, I mean, as I said, really committed. They just went for it, and some of them did extremely well, even after falling over and stuff like that. It was great.
So, a well-done episode. A mysterious episode.
Yes.
If you didn't know what elegy meant. Like we didn't. Again,
it could have been a dude's name for all we know, okay?
Slightly answer some of the questions.
Yeah.
But a pretty interesting episode. Other than one really, really odd, strange choice they made. For whatever reason, we get this guy, he sees like the second person. And he touches, he falls down, and he says something. And instead of panning upward to his 2 compadres, we cut to a still photograph of his two compadres. It was the weirdest, strangest thing. And then they cut back to him, and then they actually pan up to them.
So pretty much what I would guess, is that it was easier for them in filming to just pan up and then continue filming, taking a screenshot, or not a screenshot because they did either way, taking a still from that moment and putting it back in instead of panning up, panning down, panning up again, and then continuing on.
That's what they should have done, because this was just weird.
It was
hilarious.
It was
Okay, interesting story, photograph. Okay, back to it. Pan and moving on.
And we watch these episodes with subtitles on, so for some reason that made it worse for me. Like, just suddenly seeing a photograph with words beneath it and going, wait, did they freeze? Like, I'm confused.
I mean, that was almost my thought at first. Like, oh, did his compadres freeze too?
Yeah.
The plot thickens!
Yeah, that would have actually been pretty twisted.
But that didn't happen at all.
No. It was just 1960s or 1950s.
It was an interesting choice.
Okay.
I really wish they had just taken the extra 2 seconds to film them.
Time is money.
2 seconds.
Film is expensive.
It is. 2 seconds. It was too much.
It was too much, okay.
Or they originally weren't going to do a double
that
take.
Could be it
and then
too.
In post, like, we really should pan these guys. Well, we can't really do that. Or just take a still photograph in there.
You never know. And I mean, unfortunately, I wanted to look into it. I wanted to see if maybe someone had said anything. But when I looked through the information behind it, I could not find it. I didn't do, like, extreme research into it, but at least top level, it didn't say anything about it.
It was just strange.
But it did say stuff about certain scenes as far as locations and stuff. So, but we should probably at least give it a rating before we go into all this.
Spoilers. So, what are we rating it?
How many cubies did we lose this time?
Push off the imaginary cubes here. Just wa-chow. Wa-chow. I believe, anyway.
Yay! So we said 1 and a 2 and a 3.
I think you enjoyed it slightly more than me.
As I said, in comparison to the last couple ones that we've watched, I've been, like, even the one we did rate a 3, I liked this better than that one. So
I think they have different qualities.
Yeah.
I think this was more interesting just because it wasn't as, in my opinion, predictable.
yes.
Where I thought the other one was a little bit more predictable, since I made predictions that they happened to come true. Where this one was lost most of the time. Did not know what actually was happening.
Yes.
Until it actually was explained in the end. I was like, oh, okay. Still strange, but okay. Anyway, we're in spoilers, so congratulations.
Go watch. This is an episode that I definitely would recommend going to watch.
No, this is a good Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
It really is. Welcome back. If you left, give us 2 views. That'd be perfect. See, that's the thing is, we get them to leave, then come back, 2 views, and bam.
How come that doesn't work?
Yeah, no, they just leave.
Yeah.
Permanently, forever.
Bye.
Anyways. So they continue to go through this town investigating. To one point they get to a mayor's house area.
Inauguration. I can't even say inauguration. There we go.
Yes. And see all these people, and we get the second awkward moment of it that I thought was awkward. Where I said the same thing about the last episode. Like, it's a clock with no hands.
Yes, it's because they were they were talking about time and how because one guy said, well, what if they are moving so fast that to us they look slow? And the other guy's like, how would that even work? And he's like, well, you don't see the hands of a clock moving, but they do. And then he turns around and he's like, well, this clock has no hands. And then
we get the dramatic music of dun, dun, dun. Just like the last episode. It was like random. I don't remember. It was just...
Sometimes I wonder if those points, like those major, like dun, dun, dun points happen, are actually commercial breaks. Like, that would have been a good point, at least back then, to cut to a commercial and then come back.
But generally, the commercial breaks, we still see them. We just see fade to black, and then it fades back in.
I don't know where these were.
It wouldn't cut in the middle of a scene.
I don't remember which one or where the commercial break was in this one then.
What I'm saying is that anytime we get a good fade to black, generally commercial breaks are usually ones that last a little bit longer. Yeah. But that's when you insert a commercial break. Again, this would just be awkwardly timed in the middle of a scene. I agree with you. Yeah. That would be a good time, but there's no cut. There's no nothing.
Because that's usually the music, like the back in the day music of suspense. We're about to leave you on some random cliffhanger, and then send you to commercial, and then come back and then pick up.
But who knows? I could be wrong.
Because I don't remember exactly where they went from that as far as what was said after that. Because I don't remember them mentioning the clock after that. It was just, well, this one has no hands. Then the music, and then I don't think they even mentioned the clock
I think he just went to the guy that was next to him, who he pushed over. He just kind of fell against the wall, and they continued forward. But
anyway.
The reason I brought up this room to begin with at all is because it was reused in multiple episodes.
Yes. It was the 16 millimeter shrine,
which we did not like very much.
No, that was one of our before we started rating. That was one of our lowest personal rating episodes.
Yes, it was kind of a boring, nothing happening episode. It was not particularly interesting.
Yeah,
but anyway, it was her staircase and that, and supposedly they reused it in a later episode as well.
They used they used it as a hospital lobby in the Purple Testament.
Actually, the last episode.
Yeah. Which, for some reason, that didn't ring a bell. The 16 millimeter one did for you, but the seeing it as a hospital one didn't.
Well, I think it was right after he'd come back downstairs after visiting his friend.
Oh,
I think those are the stairs.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, yes, apparently it's going to be used again in a later episode. I can't remember something of something.
Very descriptive.
Yeah.
We all know.
It was. I just remember the last part of it being somebody's name.
But this one was a little obvious. I didn't pick it up in Purple Testament, but as soon as they walked into the room for the mayor, I was like, oh, this looks very familiar. Okay, I remember this episode. Or this scene, this area.
The one fun fact that I did read while reading that part was that the sound effects they used in their spaceship would later on go to be used in, like, the Star Trek show.
Which is cool.
Interesting. Learn your facts. There's random things if you just look into TV shows. Just little itsy.
All kind of little weird random things. So yeah, not too long after this, once we get to the pageant, I assume.
It looked like a Miss whatever town they're in pageant.
Which would make sense with the end. Why the particular lady who won.
I don't know.
So
yeah.
As soon as he leaves this area, someone moves. And we see someone.
Which immediately, you said you watched some of it, but you weren't like a big fan. But I immediately thought of the trickster from Supernatural.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I didn't say I wasn't a fan.
Well,
I watched 5 seasons of it. It just at some point it's like, okay, I've seen enough for now.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll come back to this, but it's very repetitive.
But no, just the whole things are happening or things are not happening, and suddenly, like, it's especially reminded me of The Mystery Spot, which was in season 3. And it was pretty much just like the same thing is happening to Sam over and over again, and only one thing keeps changing, and it's this dude.
So then they go to a house to where this guy's somehow beat them there.
Magic, okay?
He reveals himself, and then we get kind of what's actually happening, finally.
Yes. We find out that they are on a giant cemetery. Yes. An asteroid cemetery. It is the most expensive mortuary.
Yes, where really rich people can pay after they die to be placed in a scene that they wish they were always in.
Which I don't know.
It's really strange.
Like, I don't know how that makes sense unless are they reliving that moment or are they just dead? Like,
I think they're just dead.
Because then how is that going to make them feel? Why would it matter?
I mean, I think it's like...
no one else is going to visit them,
I think it's kind of like the pharaohs taking a bunch of stuff with them and
that's
building
true.
a pyramid.
That's true.
That's really not helping you after you're dead, but they did it! Like these guys, yeah, set me up there, I'll be the mayor I always wanted to be.
Yeah.
I'll win the beauty pageant that I always wished I would have.
So, I don't know, it's just...
It's strange, but...
I don't know, as I said, I thought maybe there was some weird sense of they were actually living in that moment, but I guess not. I guess they're just corpses.
Yeah, I think they're just corpses. Pretty sure that's how he described it.
Well, what confused me about it though, because if they were just corpses, then why would it matter what they were killed with? Because the robot dude, which he turns out to be a robot.
He doesn't necessarily say he's a robot?
No, he says he is a piece of science.
Yes.
He's a piece of science that shuts on and off like a machine.
Like a machine.
Yes.
So,
But, because if that was the point, then it wouldn't matter if he just put cyanide in their drinks. What he said was something like the eternal whatever will take effect soon.
I assumed it was something kind of like embalming these guys, so they forever look exactly the same.
See, that's what I thought too. It would be like embalming fluid, but no, I don't know.
Just something to kill them and make them stay like they were forever.
So guys, we need you to try this out. Go to find this asteroid and let us know.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Don't drink anything that's offered to you.
No, that was the downfall.
Yeah.
Which he was very suspicious to begin with.
Like...
And then, as soon as they drank, he was staring on all of them very peculiar.
My key thing to where I would have been watching, if someone hands me anything, I would be watching it, is he picked up his glass, a toast, and then everyone picked up theirs, or handed them out, whatever. And either way, they started tipping him, and he paused. He paused with his lips on his glass, watching every single one of them. I'm like, nope!
We've seen too many things where people love poisoning people and stuff.
I'm like, that is key behavior. You're going to set your drink down without drinking any of it. And no.
Always.
No. So pay attention to your glasses.
That you didn't switch the drinks.
Yes.
Huh. And how do I know? You didn't switch them knowing that I would know you switched them, so I will switch them back. But how do I know that I didn't switch them, that you switch them, that we switch them? That's what? Do you get the reference at all?
I've seen it in a couple things, but I don't know which one you're talking about.
I'm talking about one that just the one guy just keeps going back and forth over and over. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Trying to guess the correct drink, which one's really poisoned or which one's not. But anyways. So, yes, an entertaining episode, and then he ends up putting them back in the ship.
Yes.
Like they're about to go home.
Because that is immediately the thing, is immediately after they drink their drinks, he asks them, first I need to gather information from you. Where would you be happiest? What is the happiest moment that you would want to be in? And they said, being on the ship on their way home. Which I would have just said, home. Like,
that would be nice too. But... yeah, so he just puts them back on their little fancy spaceship, and that's where they'll forever be.
Navigating the way home, apparently. And they'll never reach it.
I mean, they got this very expensive treatment for free.
Yeah,
now, yes, they were also murdered by a robot in space, but...
Here's my thing, though, is that, one, yes, he's not getting paid for this one, and his caretaker's going to be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But two, why would he ask them what era or century or whatever they wanted to be in, though? Because the first question was where would you want to be, and the second was what year they were living in. So why would that matter unless in their unconscious they can go home?
My only assumption was that maybe I don't remember which one he asked first.
It was the
I don't remember if it was the year first and then that. Because my assumption would be more of like if they chose a particular spot other than the ship going home, maybe it was somewhere home. He could put them in that era or somewhere else in their cemetery area.
Yeah, because I think it was just I think he just asked, what year would it have been, or what year would it be, and they said 2185. Yeah. I think.
So my assumption would be trying to find the error that put them in. If
that makes sense.
The ship wouldn't have been their all desired location. But I'd love to be back on the farm at home, or whatever it would be.
Yeah, because they originally, what first threw them off as far as what's going on here is he said, we built this house for Mr. Jenkinson or something, but he actually decided he would rather be a suit of armor, and now he's out battling dragons.
Yes.
For all of eternity. In our whatever section.
Yes, and they talked about a bunch of different sections.
Yes, so. And that's when my brain was like...
Is this Westworld?
Yeah. I still need to watch that.
I want to see the first season. I need to see the second. I've heard very mixed things.
But anyways, that is pretty much the episode. So.
It is the episode. It was enjoyable. It wasn't thrilling. It wasn't super exciting.
Yeah.
But it was mysterious and interesting.
It was definitely a change of pace from the ones we had been seeing, and it was a nice, refreshing piece after 2 military ones in a row. So
yes, it was. All right, like we said, 3 out of 5. We enjoyed it. But, as always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled, reach Amanda at KZ Pup, reach the show at Beyond Your Focus, everywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe.
Maybe.
I think so.
In a mortuary in the sky.
If we're being there, hopefully we are. Listen to us while they...
the asteroid.
Sit there doing...
Only the piece of science gets to listen to us.
It was interesting that he said that... this thing was made in 1973.
Yes.
Really? That's an interesting date y'all picked. 5 years in the future. 3-4 years in the future.
They did hint a lot that the Earth wasn't doing too well, or it was gone, or something. Because they... Apparently in 2185... the Earth went through some great fallout or whatever, so...
Yes, atom bomb in 200 years, and it was not good. Not good.
Yeah. So, we have great things to look forward to, guys.
Yeah, but that should have already happened.
Okay.
Anyways, anything else before we bounce? Till next time. Long days and pleasant nights.